So this is an interesting thing that happened this week. San Francisco, which is a pretty liberal town, actually voted and approved to actually send in robots that are capable of lethal, violent threats, actions, destruction, killing, and everybody said, well, what's the big deal? It's a big deal to me. Anytime you have lethal force, it's bad enough whenever we have humans think that they can actually make that split-second decision, but robots really can actually do things that make it so much worse than it actually is. When we think that robots cannot override humans, we're kind of like being deceitful. We're kind of like playing games. We're like pretending like something isn't what it actually is. Robots can actually override what humans do. We'd like to think, especially people like Elon Musk, he likes to think that humans can always shut down computers. Humans can always shut down robots. Well, that's not true. Whenever you have a robot have the ability to use lethal force against citizens in any place in America, that's a scary thought. Because we know that we have raids that happen where the police go into the wrong address, they actually have the wrong people, and they actually kill these people because the people react in a very hostile manner because, holy shit, the police, they don't know they're the police. There's people there screaming and yelling at them and trying to kill them, so maybe they're going to overreact, and if they overreact, the police are going to kill them. The robots are going to do it probably a lot quicker than the humans would do it. That's a scary thought. It's not a good idea that we keep giving the police more and more and more power. This is not the first city that actually has robots that go into situations with lethal force. Los Angeles has had this for a very long time. And Los Angeles is a very, very, very militarized police department. And around, I think it was 2015, maybe it was 2016, there was a police officer that actually retired from the police department, and he was very disgruntled. He said there was racism. He said there was problems in the police department. And he actually killed 3 different people that were related to the police. They hunted him down. There was this massive manhunt. They had these really high rewards that were being offered. I think it was $20,000, $40,000, $50,000 that was being offered to get him. Once they did find him, I think he was up at Big Bear, they actually sent in a robot. It set off a smoke bomb, and it actually started shooting weapons, shooting rounds, and it killed him. There was no trial. There was no he said, she said, he said, he said. There was none of that because the police made the decision that they were going to take this person out. And that's actually a very scary thing because that's what San Francisco has decided to do also. We like to think that we have things like police dogs and we have things like robots so humans don't get killed, but what we're talking about is police officers don't get killed because people are still going to get killed. Police dogs actually escalate situations. They don't de-escalate situations. The robots are not going to de-escalate situations. Whenever you have a town that's very, very, very liberal and they vote to be okay with robots having absolute 100% legal force to go into places, that's a scary place for America to be. And you need to ask yourself, why are we giving the police so much power? Why are we believing the police instead of believing the citizens or believing other entities? You know, we set up courts of laws in this country to actually have different views, different opinions, and we're not actually having many people have the opportunity to actually go there because we're taking them out before they actually have a chance to say what their side of the story is. Robots with weapons that can kill people is a very bad decision. And it's a bad decision whether it's the police, whether it's the military, whoever it is. I mean, whenever this all happened, I actually kind of thought to myself, did they never see the movie RoboCop? That showed you how bad of a decision it was. You could have one little thing go wrong with a computer. You could have one little thing go wrong with a program. One little thing go wrong with a robot, and they could make the decision that you don't want them to make, you being a human and you thinking that you control it. But also it gives the police a nice little scapegoat. They could actually use the robot, kill somebody, and actually like have their hands free and go, I didn't kill them, the robot killed them. That's a very bad place for America to be. It's a very bad place. Robots, I'm okay with them washing dishes. I'm okay with them like putting things together in factories. I'm not okay with them having the ability to kill lives. And that is whether it's the police departments, whether it's the military, whether it's in hospitals. We should not be thinking that robots have the intellect or the souls or the consciousness to actually make the right decisions in those moments. We have probably, I think, anywhere from like 7 to 10 major cities that have robots that actually can use lethal force. We need to step back from that, and we need to ask ourselves, why are we thinking that the police need this kind of power? Why do we think that the police will not misuse this kind of power? And why do we think that this is a good decision for society? Lethal force should absolutely be the last thing that anybody uses for any reason. A robot supposedly doesn't have consciousness. It supposedly cannot think. If it cannot do those two things, why are we giving it the power to take somebody else's life? Because there's somebody back at, in a safe little place in a building named Joe who's got 20 years in, wearing a badge saying, well, I'm going to like push the kill button. It's no different than the people who sit in Las Vegas who send up drones and kill people who are in the Middle East where they're dropping bombs left and right, and they can swear up and down, well, I'm not really doing anything. I'm doing everything for the greater good. You're not. You got to ask yourself, why are we giving police departments this kind of power? It doesn't make sense. Watch the movie RoboCop. It's actually a pretty old movie. It's about, I think, 25, 30 years old. But it's pretty prevalent because it talks about like society. When society gets so fearful, they give the police so much power because they believe the propaganda that there's so much crime, there's so much danger, that if we don't do this, it's going to be out of control. And the only thing between the people and total hell and chaos is the police. The police are there to save us. Just like they tell us that the only thing that's saving us from being taken over from all these other countries in the world is the military. The military's here to save us. You have to be smarter than that. Robots that actually can go in and use lethal force to kill people is a bad decision. It's not going to save anybody's life. The only lives it may possibly save are police officers. But police officers need to be smarter than that and not put themselves in positions where they could possibly get killed haphazardly. A lot of the warrants that happen are made up kind of reasons why police go in. Breonna Taylor that happened in Louisville, Kentucky, that was like an iffy kind of thing. You were looking for her boyfriend and you went to her address. He didn't live at her address. He received a few pieces of mail at her address. So why are you going to her address looking for him? That's horrible. That's horrible police work. And that's the kind of police work that would use a robot to go in there, frighten her, frighten the boyfriend that she had at the time. They'll react badly and it would terminate them. That's not a good place for us to be in society. It's not. Robots having the ability, and when I started off and I said lethal destruction, mayhem, killing, force, whatever you want to call it, it has to do with you're giving a robot the ability to take a life. And you can swear up and down that the people back who are supposedly in control can do the kill switch, that they can control it, but we don't know that that's true. And we don't know that even if they did have that ability, that they would use it correctly. It's not a good decision. We have 7 to 10 major cities that use robots this way. The fact that we have a liberal city, very liberal city like San Francisco, who says that it's okay, that's a scary place for us to be a society. It is. A bad decision.